planning a trip to the United States but unsure where to go. Resonance, the globally authoritative organization, has released its 2025 ranking of America's finest cities. 10 captivating urban centers stand out, maintaining their appeal despite travel fluctuations and extreme weather. Where does their core allure lie? Today, follow this list to unlock the hidden treasures of America's cities. Today, follow this list to unlock the hidden treasures of America's cities. This ranking of America's 10 most captivating cities and its accompanying analysis derives its authority and persuasiveness from robust research data and a rigorous evaluation framework, rather than subjective conjecture. The core assessment body is Resonance Consultancy, a globally renowned city branding and strategic consultancy. The core assessment body is Resonance Consultancy, a globally renowned city branding and strategic consultancy. Its annual World's Best Cities ranking commands widespread recognition and influence within global tourism and urban studies. The agency's rankings employ a multidimensional scoring approach rather than single-factor assessment. The agency's rankings employ a multidimensional scoring approach rather than single-factor assessment. The organization employs its proprietary place power methodology to conduct a comprehensive assessment of cities across 3 core dimensions: liveability, attractiveness, and prosperity, encompassing numerous key indicators.
Specifically, the assessment incorporates both core statistical data, such as the number of major corporations, airport accessibility, healthcare system indices, and house price-to-income ratios alongside user-generated metrics. These include user reviews, check-in volumes, and mention frequencies extracted from platforms like Google, TripAdvisor, and Instagram, reflecting authentic visitor experiences. To enhance the objectivity and representativeness of the rankings, Resonance collaborated with Ipsos, a globally renowned research organization, to conduct an open-ended survey of 2003 American respondents. This gathered preferences for the most livable, most visit-worthy, and best cities for employment opportunities, ultimately producing a list grounded in both data and public perception. It should be noted that in Resonance Consultancy's 2025 ranking of America's best cities, New York retained its top position for the 9th consecutive year. Meanwhile, Charleston, South Carolina, achieved remarkable success in Condé Nast Traveler's Reader's Choice Awards, securing the title of America's best small city for the 4th consecutive year-end, 14 times in the past 15 years. This achievement fully attests to its unique standing in travelers' hearts. Notably, the 2025 ranking system places greater emphasis on cities' capacity to address challenges, further increasing the weighting of indicators such as climate resilience, infrastructure upgrades, and economic diversification. This makes the list's orientation more aligned with the core demands of global urban development in the post-pandemic era. As a global tourism powerhouse, America's vast tourism economy provides a robust foundation for this ranking's influence. According to the U.S. Travel Association's latest 2025 forecast, tourism remains one of America's most dynamic industries. Serving as a potent engine of economic growth, it underpins nearly 1 in 10 American jobs, contributes $2.9 trillion to GDP, and provides employment for millions. Specifically, domestic tourist spending in the United States is projected to reach $1.2 trillion in 2025, invigorating communities nationwide. International tourist spending is forecast at $17.3 billion, cementing tourism as America's largest service export industry. Notably, international visitor arrivals are projected to decline from 72.4 million in 2024 to 67.9 million in 2025, the first such drop since 2020. This downturn stems primarily from outdated travel systems, protracted visa processing times, and emerging travel barriers, though a rebound is anticipated in 2026 driven by major sporting events. Projections from the U.S. National Travel and Tourism Office indicate that even with stable domestic travel, inbound visitors from China, Japan, and the UK in 2025 will remain up to 15% below 2019 baseline levels. This fluctuation impacts gateway cities reliant on international tourists to varying degrees. Within this industry landscape, Cities selected among the top 10 most charming urban destinations undoubtedly serve as core growth engines. Take Charleston, repeatedly honored as America's best small city, as an example. In 2024, its tourism sector generated $14.03 billion in economic impact for the greater Charleston area, a 7.1% year-on-year increase, directly supporting over 55,000 jobs. Tourism-related expenditure constitutes a significant share of the local economy, particularly within dining, accommodation, and cultural experiences, forming a robust industrial chain. New York, topping the 2025 rankings, welcomed nearly 65 million visitors in 2024. Its tourism economy contributed over $80 billion, directly or indirectly supporting more than 400,000 jobs. The city is further bolstering tourism through the 2026 FIFA World Cup final and major infrastructure upgrades. The $19 billion redevelopment of New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport and the expansion of Manhattan's Hudson River Park are both preparing to enhance visitor experiences and accommodate large-scale event traffic. As Hawaii's core tourist city, Honolulu sees its tourism sector account for over 60% of the local economy. The downtown Honolulu area, home to Waikiki Beach, generates over $2 billion annually from the hotel industry alone. Despite challenges posed by rising sea levels, its unique tropical resort resources maintain strong appeal. These figures demonstrate that the 10 most captivating cities are not merely coveted tourist destinations, but also central pillars of America's tourism economy. Their development trajectory directly influences the overall direction of the U.S. tourism industry, while their strategies for navigating market fluctuations and environmental challenges offer crucial insights for comparable cities worldwide. The appeal of these top 10 cities exhibits striking diversity, encompassing multiple dimensions of travel experiences that precisely align with varied visitor preferences and needs. This versatility is a key factor in their global appeal. Napa, renowned for its wine industry, stands as a pilgrimage site for global wine enthusiasts. This narrow strip of land, measuring just 35 miles long and 5 miles wide, cultivates only 4% of California's wine grapes yet contributes 27% of the state's wine industry's economic output. Annually producing 49.7 million cases of wine, it generates an economic value of $50 billion. Home to over 700 wineries, it has cultivated a distinctive wine-plus industrial ecosystem, seamlessly integrating wine production with sports, commercial arts, wellness, and leisure. This has fostered 8 uniquely themed wine towns, forming a rural leisure and cultural tourism cluster centered on experiential offerings. Whether through high-end estate tastings, bespoke wine-themed itineraries, or gourmet wine dinners featuring local cuisine, Napa's tourism experience embodies sophistication and cities whose core appeal lies in historical and cultural heritage are epitomized by Savannah and Charleston. As one of America's oldest cities, Savannah's urban planning itself stands as a living history. Designed in 1733 by British colonist James Oglethorpe, its block-square residential planning model evolved over a century to create 24 historic squares. Today, 22 of these squares remain well-preserved, each bearing unique historical memories. Surrounding these squares are courthouses, museums, and churches. Trussed residential layout devised by British colonist James Oglethorpe in 1733 evolved over centuries into 24 historic squares. Today, 22 of these squares remain impeccably preserved, each bearing unique historical memories. Surrounded by public buildings like courthouses, museums, and churches alongside private residences, they form beautifully staggered historic districts. These squares serve not only as historical witnesses but also as vital spaces for local residents and visitors to relax and socialize. Each weekend, the squares come alive with diverse small markets and cultural events, seamlessly blending historical scenes with contemporary life. Charleston, meanwhile, is renowned for its well-preserved colonial-era architecture and rich Southern historical atmosphere. The colorful rainbow row houses and elegant Middleton plantation, among other historic structures, collectively paint a vivid historical tableau of the American South. The local government enforces stringent building preservation regulations to safeguard the original appearance of these structures. Simultaneously, through cultural tours and historically themed events, visitors gain deeper insights into the stories behind the architecture. Cities epitomizing the slow-paced artistic lifestyle include Carmel and Santa Fe. Though compact in size, Carmel has become a global gathering place for artists due to its rich artistic atmosphere. Home to over 100 art galleries and studios, it encompasses diverse art forms from classical paintings to modern sculptures, and from handicrafts to avant-garde art, drawing countless art enthusiasts on pilgrimages. What makes Carmel truly distinctive is its commitment to a back-to-basics lifestyle philosophy. Streets lack numerical addresses, and post must be collected from the post office. This unique way of life allows visitors to shed the clamor of the city and immerse themselves in a tranquil artistic environment. Local art institutions regularly host exhibitions and workshops, inviting visitors to participate in creative processes, further enhancing the immersive nature of the artistic experience. Santa Fe, meanwhile, deeply integrates art with its regional culture. Over 250 galleries and art studios are scattered throughout the city, particularly along the renowned Canyon Road. The galleries, sculpture halls, and artist studios lining the street form an immersive artistic space where visitors can engage face-to-face with artists, learning about the inspiration and stories behind their creations. Santa Fe's artistic expression frequently incorporates elements of local Native American and Spanish colonial cultures, forging a distinctive artistic style. This aesthetic permeates the city's architecture, decor, and every facet of its design, saturating the entire urban landscape with artistic flair. Representing cosmopolitan metropolises are New York and Chicago. As the top-ranked city in the 2025 list, New York's allure lies in its diversity and inclusivity. From Wall Street's financial elite to Brooklyn's bohemian youth, from Broadway's classic productions to street corner improvisations, it radiates boundless vitality and possibility. Chicago, ranked third, excels in liveability and prosperity through its expanding talent pool and relatively affordable cost of living. Its exceptional architectural artistry serves as the city's defining emblem, featuring masterpieces by renowned architects such as the John Hancock Center and Willis Tower, collectively forming a distinctive skyline. Chicago further enhances its appeal to global visitors and investors by advancing the expansion of O'Hare International Airport's global terminal, thereby improving the city's transport accessibility. Representative coastal holiday destinations include Honolulu and San Francisco. Honolulu, renowned for its tropical appeal, boasts the fine white sands, crystal-clear waters, and warm sunshine of Waikiki Beach. The distant Diamond Head and the azure Pacific Ocean create an iconic coastal panorama. San Francisco, meanwhile, is countering the downturn in its tech sector through urban regeneration initiatives. It masterfully blends coastal scenery with urban character. The Golden Gate Bridge's shifting vistas through morning mists and evening sunsets, Fisherman's Wharf seafood and bustling atmosphere, and the city's undulating streets and coastal promenades collectively forge a distinctive coastal metropolis charm. San Francisco's waterfront revitalization project has injected new vitality into the coastal zone by upgrading the harbor area to incorporate diverse leisure, dining, and cultural amenities. A quintessential example of a culturally vibrant fusion city is New Orleans. Having weathered French and Spanish colonial rule before American takeover, it has forged a distinctive Creole culture. As the birthplace of jazz, its exuberant Mardi Gras celebrations and unique Creole and Cajun cuisine vividly embody this cultural synthesis. Annual events like Mardi Gras and the Jazz Festival serve as pivotal showcases for the city's cultural allure. Each selected city possesses a singular, iconic core attraction. These defining elements serve not only as the city's calling card but as the primary driving force for visitor engagement. Napa Valley's core appeal lies not merely in its multitude of wineries, but in its world-class wine quality and premium tourism experience. The 1976 Paris wine tasting marked a turning point for Napa's wine industry. when Napa Valley's Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon triumphed over prestigious French wines in a blind tasting. This event fundamentally reshaped the global wine landscape, propelling Napa from an obscure region to the Bordeaux of the New World. The French Laundry restaurant here, created by legendary chef Thomas Keller, stands as a Michelin 3-star establishment and is acclaimed as America's most worthwhile dining destination. Its exquisite cuisine and distinctive dining ambience represent the ultimate goal for culinary enthusiasts. Even amidst wildfire threats, Napa's wineries maintain exceptional wine quality through meticulous management and technological innovation. They also offer increasingly immersive wine-related experiences, such as winemaking courses and vineyard tours, enhancing visitor engagement. New Orleans' core allure remains intrinsically linked to jazz. As the birthplace of the genre, Bourbon Street serves as its epicenter. Come nightfall, the city resonates with melodious tunes from street performers, improvisations, and live bar gigs. The annual New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival remains a global music extravaganza for enthusiasts. Commencing in 1970, the 2025 edition drew 460,000 attendees, a slight decrease of 40,000 from 2024. Despite this modest decline, the on-site experience remained exceptional. 12 stages showcased diverse musical genres including jazz, gospel, Cajun, and blues, while over 100 varieties of Louisiana cuisine were featured. A new Mexican cultural exchange zone was added, significantly boosting the local economy. Organizers attributed the decline primarily to reduced international visitor arrivals, indicating future efforts to expand the domestic market through targeted promotional campaigns. New York's core appeal lies in its all-encompassing cultural offerings and inclusive urban atmosphere. Ranked America's top city in 2025, it leads in cultural and landmark dimensions, bolstered by Broadway's resurgence, major museum exhibitions, and numerous Michelin-starred restaurants. Broadway, representing the pinnacle of global theatrical arts, stages over 40 classic productions annually. Long-running hits like Les Miserables and Hamilton attract more than 14 million spectators yearly, generating over $1.8 billion in box office revenue. To enhance audience experience, multiple Broadway theaters have upgraded facilities and introduced convenient measures, such as online ticketing and exclusive membership services. Central Park, New York's urban oasis, spans 843 acres and welcomes over 42 million visitors annually. Whether it's spring cherry blossoms, summer lawns, autumn foliage, or winter snowscapes, it offers rare tranquility and natural beauty amidst the bustling metropolis. The Central Park Management Office regularly hosts diverse cultural events including open-air concerts, outdoor film screenings, and art exhibitions, seamlessly blending natural landscapes with cultural experiences. Charleston's core appeal lies in its distinctive southern charm and historical depth, preserving over 1,400 historic buildings. Most were constructed during the colonial period and pre-Civil War era of the 18th and 19th centuries. Landmark structures like the Rainbow Row St. Michael's Church and Middleton Plantation stand not only as architectural treasures, but as living witnesses to history. Through dedicated heritage tours and cultural festivals, visitors gain profound insights into the historical context and cultural significance of these structures. Santa Fe's core charm lies in its distinctive architectural style and artistic atmosphere. The city's buildings, predominantly constructed from adobe, exhibit warm earth tones and gentle curves. This style blends the indigenous Pueblo culture with Spanish colonial architectural features, harmonizing perfectly with the surrounding desert landscape to create a unique southwestern character. With over 250 galleries and art studios, Santa Fe stands as one of America's foremost artistic hubs. Canyon Road's art district offers visitors an immersive encounter with artistic expression. The city's cultural institutions also collaborate with local universities to deliver art education programs, nurturing artistic talent while infusing the urban artistic ethos with fresh vitality. The charm of these cities lies not only in their widely recognized landmarks but also in the hidden gems tucked away in their streets and alleys, experiences requiring deeper exploration to uncover. These often provide visitors with a more authentic sense of the city's local character and genuine warmth. Beyond its historic architecture and sun-kissed beaches, Charleston's Saturday morning farmers market offers an unparalleled glimpse into local life. Located near Forsyth Park, this market gathers regional farmers and artisans selling fresh seasonal produce, homemade jams, breads, honey, and distinctive handcrafted goods. Most stallholders are local residents, warm and welcoming, eager to chat with visitors and share stories about their produce and cooking techniques. Here, you can purchase freshly baked cornbread, paired with honey straight from the hive, for the most authentic taste of the South. Adjacent to the market lies a hidden secret garden, nestled in the courtyard of a century-old mansion. An archway draped in bougainvillea and vintage wrought-iron furniture create a tranquil, romantic space. Sip a glass of iced tea while sitting quietly, immersing yourself in Charleston's leisurely rhythm. For cycling enthusiasts, Charleston offers several classic routes. The 43.6-kilometer loop from Seabourn Ferry Apartments, passing Rainbow Row and Hampton Park, features excellent road conditions and showcases the city's historic architecture and natural scenery. The local tourism board also provides guided cycling tours, where expert guides immerse visitors in the city's history and culture. Carmel's immersive experience is deeply intertwined with art and nature. Hiring a vintage bicycle to cycle along the coastline is the finest way to appreciate this charming town's allure. The route commences at Carmel Beach, following the Pacific Coast Highway through winding coastlines, powdery sands and dense woodlands. En route, one encounters an unnamed viewpoint, unmarked and known only to locals, where the crashing waves, wildflowers on the cliffs and silhouettes of seabirds in flight converge, offering an unparalleled vantage point over Carmel's seascape. Carmel's bookshops form another distinctive feature. One second-hand bookshop, tucked away in the basement of a stone cottage, bears no prominent sign. Yet upon entering, one is greeted by the rich scent of aged ink. The proprietor, a seasoned bibliophile, recommends poetry collections or novels connected to Carmel based on visitors' tastes. Upon departure, guests are gifted a hand-drawn town map, marked with sunset viewing spots and artist studios known only to locals. Moreover, the hiking trails around Carmel are highly favored by visitors. These paths lead deep into the forests, allowing one to immerse in nature's tranquility and beauty while encountering diverse wild plants and small wildlife along the way. New Orleans's most authentic experiences lie hidden in its nighttime alleyways. Beyond the bustle of Bourbon Street, the French Quarter harbors numerous unmarked basement jazz bars, identified only by a small door adorned with a reed lantern. These historic venues boast rustic interiors and lack fixed stages. Musicians improvise amidst the audience, allowing visitors to immerse themselves in jazz melodies alongside locals even joining in the singing. This unrestrained atmosphere offers the quintessential way to experience New Orleans soul. Numerous family-run eateries also nestle within residential neighborhoods, serving the most authentic Creole and Cajun cuisine. Advance booking is essential to savor these delicacies, where proprietors welcome guests like family, sharing local tales and culinary secrets. Traditions. Napa's immersive experiences center on wine, offering not only tours of renowned estates but also distinctive tastings in lesser-known underground cellars. These subterranean cellars nestle at the foothills, maintaining constant temperatures and housing rows of aging oak barrels. Sommeliers guide visitors through the cellars, explaining winemaking processes and aging traditions, while offering pre-release reserve wines for tasting. They instruct guests on discerning a wine's unique character through visual inspection, aroma appreciation, and palate evaluation. Some estates also offer wine and dine pairing experiences, allowing visitors to savor the perfect harmony of local cuisine with fine wines. Savannah's immersive experiences intertwine with history and mystical lore. Beyond conventional tours of the historic district, joining a local ghost tour offers a distinctive adventure. Guided by experts, participants traverse the historic streets after dark with torches, listening to tales of ancient buildings and cemeteries. These legends, often rooted in the city's historical events, provide both thrills and deeper insights into Savannah's past. Savannah's Riverside Promenade also offers a splendid spot for relaxation. At dusk, stroll along the path, feeling the river breeze while admiring the sunset's glow over the water, immersing yourself in the city's tranquil and pleasant atmosphere. San Francisco's immersive experience lies in its diverse community cultures. North Beach's Italian flair, Chinatown's Chinese charm, and Haight-Ashbury's hippie heritage. Each neighborhood possesses its own unique allure. The cafes of North Beach exude European romanticism, where visitors can order an espresso and soak up San Francisco's artistic atmosphere. Additionally, the city's flea markets are immensely popular with tourists, offering opportunities to hunt for distinctive handicrafts, vintage accessories, and other treasures while experiencing local street life. The profoundly unique allure of these cities stems from the collision and fusion of diverse cultures. This fusion is not a simple layering of traditions but a distinctive cultural essence forged through centuries of historical accumulation, forming the very core of a city's character. New Orleans exemplifies this fusion most strikingly. Founded by French colonists in 1718, subsequently taken over by Spain, and finally incorporated into the United States, its complex historical journey saw French and Spanish colonial cultures deeply intertwine with indigenous Native American and African traditions. This gave rise to the distinctive Creole and Cajun cultures. Creole culture manifests distinctly in language, cuisine, and music. Linguistically, it synthesizes elements of French, Spanish, and English to form the unique Creole language. Culinary traditions feature signature dishes like seafood okra stew, red bean rice, and beignets, blending French culinary techniques, African spices, and local ingredients. Musically, the birth of jazz itself is a product of multicultural fusion, combining African rhythms, European harmonies, and elements of American Southern folk music. The annual carnival serves as a concentrated showcase of this cultural fusion. Colorful floats, elaborately costumed revelers, and cascading strings of beads evoke the exuberance of European festivals while incorporating African and indigenous folk traditions, expressing a profound love for life and a pursuit of freedom. This cultural fusion permeates not only festivals and the arts but also the daily lives of local residents, shaping an open and inclusive urban character. Santa Fe's cultural synthesis manifests in its architecture and artistry. The city's buildings predominantly feature adobe construction, a style originating from the indigenous Pueblo tribes' architecture, while incorporating elements from the Spanish colonial period such as pointed arches and gables, forming the distinctive Southwest style. The warm, earthy hues of the buildings blend seamlessly with the surrounding desert and mountain landscapes, creating a tranquil and rustic atmosphere. This cultural fusion extends to artistic expression, where Santa Fe's artists blend Native American traditional crafts, Spanish painting techniques, and modern artistic concepts to create distinctive works. Local galleries showcase both traditional Native American sculptures and textiles alongside contemporary paintings infused with multicultural elements. Santa Fe regularly hosts multicultural arts festivals, inviting artists from across the globe to showcase the artistic charms of diverse cultures, further reinforcing the city's distinctive cultural fusion. San Francisco's cultural fusion exhibits a pattern of large-scale cohabitation with small-scale enclaves. Home to North America's oldest Chinatown, Chinese immigrants arrived during the 1850s California Gold Rush and transcontinental railway construction, settling around Grant Avenue and Stockton Street to form a distinctive community preserving traditional Chinese customs, architectural styles, and culinary traditions. Portsmouth Square became the cultural heart of this enclave, where elders practice Tai Chi and play chess daily, while street-side dim sum shops, tea houses, and herbal pharmacies exude a rich Chinese ambience. Beyond Chinatown, San Francisco's North Beach neighborhood is home to Italian immigrants, its cafes and restaurants brimming with European romance, preserving Italian cuisine and culture. Haight-Ashbury, meanwhile, is the birthplace of hippie culture, blending countercultural elements from across the globe to forge a distinctive artistic atmosphere. These diverse community cultures coexist in mutual tolerance and harmony, making San Francisco a city brimming with vitality and creativity. This, in turn, attracts diverse talents to settle and start businesses, further driving the city's cultural innovation and development. Savannah's cultural fusion is intrinsically linked to the historical trajectory of the American South. As one of the nation's oldest cities, it served as the first settlement of the British Georgia colony in North America, where British colonial culture gradually intertwined with indigenous Native American and African traditions. The city's layout reflects British rationalism through its orderly grid of streets and public squares, while also integrating the local natural environment and folk traditions. The oak trees, moss-covered surfaces, and historic buildings surrounding the squares create a distinctive southern landscape. The presence of the Savannah College of Art and Design further infuses this ancient city with contemporary artistic elements. Traditional historic architecture stands in striking contrast to modern art installations and student creative markets, fostering a cultural atmosphere where tradition and modernity harmoniously coexist. The institution collaborates with local communities on cultural preservation and heritage
projects, breathing new life into ancient traditions within contemporary society. Projects, breathing new life into ancient traditions within contemporary society. This fusion of diverse cultures allows Savannah to retain its historical depth while possessing modern vitality and creativity, making it a major draw for tourists and artists alike. Despite the city's formidable tourist appeal and distinctive cultural allure, their development faces a series of practical challenges. These not only impact the visitor experience but also pose threats to the city's long-term sustainability. Among the most pressing is the wildfire threat confronting California's Napa Valley. Recent years have seen California's climate shift towards frequent extreme weather, rendering wildfires a recurring phenomenon. Since 2017, wildfires have affected 60% of Napa County's land. California's 2020 wildfires set a historic record, scorching over 4.3 million acres that year alone. In August 2025, Napa County was again struck by the rapidly spreading Pictet fire. By the 24th of August, the blaze had consumed over 6,800 acres with only 11% contained, threatening rural communities including Calistoga, Pope Valley, Etna Springs, and Engwing.
Multiple evacuation orders and warnings were issued locally, prompting large-scale rescue operations by the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection CAL FIRE, Napa County Sheriff's Office, and mutual aid partners. In response, Napa County Administrator and Director of Emergency Services, Ryan Orsip, signed a local emergency proclamation authorizing emergency response and recovery efforts. This enabled the swift and efficient allocation of resources to protect public health and safety while mitigating fire-related damage. The blaze also precipitated a public health crisis. On the 25th of August, Napa County Public Health Officer Dr. Christine Wu signed a local health emergency declaration to address potential environmental threats to drinking water supplies from fire debris, alongside hazardous waste and materials. Fire debris may constitute hazardous waste, impacting local watersheds and thereby endangering public health. The declaration authorizes immediate action to remove any toxic, flammable, corrosive, or reactive hazardous waste and materials within the affected area, while permitting potential preventative measures. The wildfires have dealt a devastating blow to Napa's wine industry, not only destroying historic wineries and vineyards but, more critically, exposing grapes to harmful substances in the smoke that compromise both growing conditions and quality. Grapes absorbing phenolic compounds from smoke during growth can impart a bitter smoke tint to the resulting wine. This flavor defect is virtually impossible to eliminate through winemaking processes, directly impacting both wine quality and market value. Following the 2017 wildfires, over 30% of Napa Valley wines failed to meet sales standards due to smoke taint, inflicting substantial losses on local wineries. Beyond economic damage, wildfires have tarnished the region's tourism image. Many visitors canceled trips to Napa due to safety concerns, causing a sharp decline in tourism revenue. To address this challenge, Napa wineries have implemented measures such as installing smoke monitoring equipment, establishing fire breaks around vineyards, and refining winemaking techniques. However, these steps can only mitigate losses to a limited extent and cannot fundamentally resolve the wildfire threat posed by climate change. Napa County is actively seeking state and federal resource support to address fire relief, recovery efforts, and reimbursement for specialized expenses incurred during the emergency period. Nevertheless, the long-term impacts of the wildfires remain difficult to quantify. Honolulu faces challenges linked to climatic conditions and rising sea levels. Whilst its tropical climate is a key draw for visitors, it also causes discomfort for some travelers. Honolulu experiences a tropical monsoon climate with abundant year-round sunshine and intense light. Summer temperatures frequently exceed 30 degrees Celsius, accompanied by high humidity. Visitors accustomed to temperate climates are prone to heat stroke and dehydration. Moreover, sea level rise driven by global climate change poses a severe threat to Honolulu's coastal landscapes. A July 2025 study by the U.S. Geological Survey and the University of Hawaii at Manoa indicates that 81% of Oahu's sandy coastline could vanish by the century's end, with nearly 40% of this loss occurring within the next 5 years. Employing the Coast Shoreline Change Model alongside satellite-derived coastline data, historical wave patterns, and field beach surveys, the study found that by 2050, a mere 0.3-meter rise in sea level would cause shoreline retreat inland to exceed previous projections by 43%. This accelerated erosion stems not only from rising sea levels but also from dynamic coastal processes such as cross-shore and alongshore sediment transport. These wave-driven forces account for over one-third of projected shoreline changes by 2100, particularly affecting Oahu's North Shore and West Coast. Specifically at Wake Beach, noticeable erosion has already occurred in certain areas, impacting both the quality and extent of the sandy shoreline. In May 2024, the Queen's Surf Break seawall and walkway within Kapiolani Park collapsed due to intense wave impacts from the southern shore. To repair this facility, the City and County of Honolulu's Department of Design and Construction plans to commence restoration works on the 21st of January 2025. This $3.75 million project has secured all necessary authorizations and is projected for completion within 6 months, barring unforeseen delays. Contractor Ocean Engineering will first install large sandbags in nearshore waters surrounding the damaged seawall to establish a sediment control zone. Subsequently, the stone wall will be rebuilt with new concrete foundations, wall voids filled, pavement cavities filled with concrete, streetlight foundations rebuilt, and the pavement along the vintage surfboard monuments section repaved with stamped concrete. During construction, access to the affected area will be restricted. Signage will be placed near the Surfing Boy Monument at Kuhio Beach Park and along the pavement route, directing accessible pathways to Barefoot Beach Caf and the Waikiki War Memorial Pool via the Kalakaua Avenue pavement. Noise may occur during works. Pedestrians should avoid construction zones. Site safety personnel will monitor activities and enforce safety protocols. To mitigate discomfort from high temperatures and humidity, Honolulu's tourism department has implemented measures including installing sunshades at attractions, providing complimentary drinking water, and enhancing heatstroke emergency services. However, these initiatives require substantial funding and yield limited effectiveness, failing to fully counteract adverse climatic impacts. Beyond these specific environmental challenges, some cities grapple with the tension between over-tourism and cultural preservation, alongside the impact of fluctuations in the international tourism market. Take global metropolises like New York and San Francisco. The influx of vast numbers of tourists has led to excessive commercialization in certain historic districts. Local residents face squeezed living spaces and rising costs of living. while some indigenous cultural characteristics are gradually being supplanted by commercialized tourism products. This phenomenon is not unique, manifesting in numerous popular American tourist towns. Take Pomfret, Vermont, where a tranquil country road became a traffic nightmare after a viral Instagram photograph drew crowds of autumn leaf spectators. Locals found commuting impossible, while visitors engaged in uncivilized behavior including blocking lanes, trespassing on private property, and littering. Following resident complaints, local officials implemented temporary restrictions. Savannah's historic district faces similar challenges, with some heritage buildings converted into hotels and restaurants. While this boosts tourism revenue, it has also compromised the original character of the historic quarter. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, exemplifies this trend. The former Western ranching community has transformed into a playground for the super wealthy, with median home prices exceeding $2 million, far beyond the means of hotel and restaurant staff. Long-term residents are being forced out, while hardware stores, family restaurants, and repair shops serving locals are replaced by souvenir boutiques, high-end designer shops, and holiday rental agencies. The community's cultural fabric is fracturing. Seasonal workers have supplanted multi-generational families. Traditional skills are fading, and community institutions like schools and churches struggle to sustain themselves due to insufficient year-round populations. The unique character of these towns is gradually vanishing. How to promote tourism development while safeguarding a city's historical heritage and local character. To achieve sustainable growth remains a long-term challenge for these destinations. Furthermore, according to the U.S. Travel Association's 2025 projections, fluctuations in the international tourism market have led to declining international visitor numbers for multiple events, including the New Orleans Jazz Festival. The 2025 festival's attendance decline was partly attributed to reduced international tourist arrivals. American cities collectively face an intertwined set of challenges: intensifying climate volatility, interest rate uncertainty, infrastructure strain, and geopolitical tensions reshaping global capital and talent flows. These factors all impact the tourism development of these vibrant cities to varying degrees. In response to these challenges, major cities are actively exploring countermeasures. Key urban centers like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami are prioritizing airport modernization and high-speed rail development. Initiatives include the $19 billion Kennedy Airport redevelopment, O'Hare International Airport's global terminal expansion, and the Brightline West high-speed rail link connecting Los Angeles and Las Vegas, all aimed at enhancing competitiveness through improved transport accessibility. Regarding climate adaptation, Los Angeles is tackling wildfires and water scarcity. San Diego is strengthening cross-border water management, and New York is implementing congestion charging to reduce emissions. Economic diversification has become a key development direction. Pittsburgh's robotics manufacturing, Salt Lake City's Silicon Slopes tech sector, and Raleigh's Research Triangle Park all demonstrate a shift towards advanced manufacturing and technological innovation. To attract talent, cities increasingly prioritize enhancing quality of life. Nashville is strengthening its music scene, while Cincinnati has introduced housing incentives. Urban renewal also exhibits a trend towards adaptive reuse, with New York and San Francisco converting office buildings into residential properties, while Detroit transforms industrial sites into innovation hubs. In tourism services, cities like Miami and Los Angeles are adding luxury hotels, strengthening short-term rental regulations, and shifting focus towards high-spending visitors. The effectiveness of these measures remains to be seen, yet they clearly demonstrate the adaptability and innovative spirit of America's charismatic cities in the face of challenges. Fundamentally, the allure of these cities is not a static entity but a dynamic quality that continually evolves through the collision of historical heritage and contemporary transformation. They preserve their unique cultural DNA and natural endowments while adapting development strategies in response to market shifts and environmental challenges, seeking equilibrium between conservation and development, tradition and modernity, economic interests and cultural heritage. For the global tourism market, These cities' developmental practices offer invaluable insights and lessons, with their explorations continuing to shape the future trajectory of urban tourism. Regardless of evolving challenges, the multicultural allure, distinctive natural landscapes, and profound historical depth inherent in these cities remain the core draw for global visitors. Moreover, the resilience and vitality they demonstrate in confronting adversity provide compelling reasons to believe these American cities of charm will continue to write their own tourism legends in the years ahead.